What if I told you that the batteries powering your phone might have a history that stretches back not just decades, but millennia? We often picture ancient civilizations as primitive, relying solely on fire and muscle. But scattered across the globe are clues that challenge everything we thought we knew. These artifacts hint at a forgotten chapter of human ingenuity, a time when our ancestors may have harnessed the power of electricity. Our journey begins not with batteries, but with water. As far back as 3500 BCE, civilizations in the Indus Valley and Mesopotamia were engineering complex water management systems. They built intricate networks of canals, dams, and reservoirs, demonstrating a mastery of physics and engineering that was centuries ahead of its time. This wasn't just about survival, it was about shaping the environment, controlling nature's most powerful force. This early ingenuity sets the stage for an even more startling discovery. Fast forward to 1938. In a dusty basement of the National Museum of Iraq, a German archaeologist named Wilhelm König stumbled upon a peculiar set of artifacts. Small clay jars, each containing an iron rod encased in a copper cylinder. Found near Baghdad, they were dated to the Parthian era, around 250 BCE. At first, they were dismissed as simple storage vessels, but König had a radical theory. What if these weren't for storing scrolls or liquids? What if they were batteries? He tested his hypothesis. He filled a replica jar with an acidic substance like vinegar or grape juice, liquids readily available in ancient Parthia. The result was astonishing. The device produced a small but steady electric current, about half a volt of electricity. The Baghdad Battery, as it came to be known, was born. But this discovery raised more questions than it answered. If ancient people had batteries, what on earth were they using them for? One of the most compelling theories leads us to the glittering treasures of ancient Egypt. Look closely at certain artifacts, and you'll find objects plated with incredibly thin, even layers of precious metals like gold or silver. How did they achieve such precision? Traditional gilding methods are often messy and uneven. Some researchers now believe the Egyptians may have used a form of electroplating powered by batteries similar to the one found in Baghdad. Imagine priests in ancient temples using a subtle electrical current to coat sacred statues and jewelry. A divine technology that would have seemed like pure magic to the uninitiated. This could explain the flawless finish on artifacts that have puzzled historians for centuries. But the mystery deepens. The trail of ancient electricity doesn't stop in the Middle East. It leads us to ancient India, or Bharat, and the writings of a revered sage named Agastya. In texts believed to be over 4,000 years old, Agastya provides what can only be described as a recipe for a battery. He details the use of a well-cleaned copper plate, a clay pot, copper sulfate, moist sawdust, and a zinc amalgam sheet. He writes that connecting these components will generate a force known as Mitra Varuna, a term that some scholars interpret as the twin forces of cathode and anode, or electricity. The text even claims this energy can be used to levitate objects and power airships. While these claims are extraordinary, the core recipe describes a functional galvanic cell, a wet cell battery. Could these ancient texts contain the lost blueprints of a forgotten electrical age? From sophisticated water systems to enigmatic batteries and detailed ancient recipes, the evidence is mounting. These aren't isolated anomalies. They are pieces of a much larger puzzle. They suggest that our ancestors were not just farmers and builders, but also scientists and engineers, exploring principles of chemistry and physics that we've only recently rediscovered. They may have had a fundamental understanding of energy that we are only now beginning to appreciate. The implications are staggering. Did ancient civilizations possess a form of technology that was lost to time? Was there a global network of knowledge that has since crumbled into myth and legend? The artifacts don't lie. They sit in museums around the world, silent witnesses to a forgotten past. We see them as primitive relics, but perhaps we're looking at them all wrong. Perhaps we're looking at the remnants of a world that was far more advanced than we could ever imagine. The next time you look at an ancient artifact, remember this. You might not be looking at simple history. You might be looking at lost technology.